Spicy chicken gang, everyone. This is a previous video that I did the other day, but for some reason it didn't go through, so I'm gonna try to get it again. Today we're gonna be talking about the NFL Super Bowl and the results and what happened. Let's get right to it. Like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy the content. God be glorified. Share with others, support my channel. I appreciate y'all. Spicy chicken gang. So on Sunday, I believe it was February 9th, 2025, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs played in the 59th-year edition of the Super Bowl. And the Chiefs tried to make a three-peat. Didn't happen. I believe when I saw that game, I didn't expect that to happen. It was pure humiliation, destruction, and annihilation. The Eagles just did a phenomenal job stopping the Chiefs. They couldn't get anything going. Couldn't get the run going, couldn't get the passing going. That front four, the defense, overwhelmed Mahomes. I have the stats put up right now. I'm going to go through each individual stat, starting with Patrick Mahomes. 21 completions for 32 attempts. That's not bad. That's decent, but it's not the Mahomes performance as we usually are accustomed to see. 257, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. These touchdowns came towards later the game when everybody had their secondary and it was junk time, crunch time points. Because I think at one point, Eagles were up 34-0, just abbreviated, destroyed them. One point it was 40-0. So just the Chiefs had no way, no offense, nothing. They had no response to the Eagles. Eagles did phenomenal. The front seven, the secondary came to play. And it's amazing that they didn't even need Saquon in this game. You would think they would give Saquon the rock and make him get his yards, but he only finished with 57 yards. He didn't have to do anything. It was that defense, And when you have that one other star player and you have a team around you, you have other guys to help you out, it makes it much different. It makes it much easier. Not difficult, but easier. So they just had an overall talent-wise much better talent than them, and they were the better team. That's just the truth. 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Those 3 touchdowns came like the second half, the third, fourth quarter. Mahomes, 25 yards, 4 carries. Mahomes couldn't get anything. The run game was non-existent. Kareem Hunt, 3 carries, 9 yards. Samaj P. Ryan, 1 carry, 8 yards. Isaiah Pacheco, 3 carries, 7 yards. The run defense was phenomenal. The only leading receiver who got over 100 yards was Xavier Woody, and that was towards the second half. The Chiefs need wide receivers. They need offensive line because they were outmatched by this Eagles team. And you saw it. Anyone who saw the Super Bowl, you saw like the Eagles dominated in almost every category. Travis Kelce was a no-show. I think specifically one time during the first quarter, first half, he actually eventually had 0 catches, 0 targets. So it's amazing that what a defense can do. My caption says defense wins championships. It's the truth. Offense will win you ball games. Defense wins championship. And you see multiple examples like that, including this Super Bowl. So hats off to the Eagles. I didn't want them to win as a Redskins supporter, but I gotta hand it to them, man. They did what they need to do. They took care of business, clean business, and they turn over the ball. If you force a lot of turnovers and get sacks, more turnovers, higher sacks, and taking care of the ball and stopping the passing run, you will win the game a lot of times. Like I said, Kelce, 4 catches, 39 yards. DeAndre Hopkins, I was pulling for DeAndre Hopkins. He's a veteran. He's He's one of the greatest wide receivers of this generation, a phenomenal lead. I was pulling for him to win a Super Bowl. He only had two catches for 18 yards and one touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster non-existent. Two catches, 16 yards, was targeted two times. Marquise Brown, two receiving, 15 yards, six times he was targeted. I believe not too long ago he came off injury not too long ago, so he's still getting accustomed to the Chiefs. I want to see what they do with these receivers if they resign DeAndre Hopkins, Juju Smith, and I'll see if Kelsey comes back or not. I heard he's contemplating, thinking about retirement. We'll see. Maybe he comes back, tries for a couple more years, try to get one more before he leaves. I think he's already a three-time Super Bowl winner, so whatever happens, he's achieved so much already, and he's one of the greatest tight ends to ever play this game. He's broke a lot of records, so whatever happens, kudos to him. But if you want to come back as a competitor to get that Super Bowl, might as well. But Kelsey has nothing else to prove. He's a winner. Him and his brother Jason Kelsey are winners. Receiving, Kareem Hunt 1 yard, one catch, 5 yards, nothing. Target one time. Isaiah Pacheco, one catch, 5 yards, two times he was targeted. Noah Gray, the tight end, one receiving, 2 yards, one target. And for the rest, Samaje Perine, zero receiving, 0 yards, one target. So they strapped this team up. And like I said, turnovers were a big factor. Creed Humphreys lost the ball. Mahomes lost the ball. So if you first turnovers, you will win the game. That's just the truth of the matter. And Mahomes getting turnovers affected them a lot. Jalen Hurts, I turned over the ball too, one interception, but he managed the game better than Mahomes did. So that's what the difference was. Brian Cook, one interception. Let's check out the defense. Dre Trinquil, one sack. Tackle for loss, two. Tackles, seven. Four assists. Justin Reed, five tackles, two assists. Trent McDuffie, four tackles, one assist. Nick Bolton, three tackles, five assists. Leo Chanel, three tackles, one assist. This defense was no show, non existent. And the Eagles made sure they made a statement on the offense, so the Chiefs' defense was no existent. I believe the Eagles blitzed 0 times in that game. There's only been over 6 teams in the Super Bowl era that's blitzed 0 times they won the game. The Chiefs were one of them. And we will not be seeing a Chiefs three-peat. The only one who has that three-peat prior to Super Bowl era, even though at the time it was NFC Championship, I still counted, is the Packers from the 60s. I believe it was 64 to 67 before the first Super Bowl was ever played that the Packers ended up winning. Jalen Hicks, three tackles, one assist, one sack, one tackle for loss. Trishawn Watson, three tackles, two assists. Charles Umchada. I don't know how to pronounce these names. I ain't gonna lie to you, y'all, so bear with me. Two tackles, one assist. Mike Paneer, two tackles, three assists. Felix Elmizel, 1-1, one tackle, one assist. Swin Bowman, one tackle. The rest, either one tackle or zero assists and no sacks. Jalen Watson, one tackle. Joshua Williams, one tackle. Michael Dana, one assist. So this defense was basically non-existent. Special teams didn't get nothing going. The punter uh, punted it 6 times. Longest was 60. The kick returner, Nico, 3 receives, 28 yards. Nothing was non-existent, like I said. Let's see how. I don't think Harrison Bucker was playing because I don't see him on there. Now let's go on the Eagles side. Well, first let's look at the scoring. First quarter was 7-0. Second quarter is when the Eagles start turning it up. Put up 17 points to nothing. Third quarter, Philly won, had put up 10. Kansas City won 6. Fourth quarter, that's when things got out of hand. Kansas City put up 16. Eagles put up 6. But by the time that happened, it was too late. The Eagles have already blew out them. At one point, was a 34 to nothing game, 40-6 game. Let that sink in, y'all. Remember that. Jalen Hurts, 17 for 22, 221, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jalen Hurts had a better game. He took care of the ball better. He only had 1 interception. Mahomes only had 2. So, and he managed the game. He didn't have to put up great numbers. He managed the game. 17 for 22. Somebody who completes more passes and less attempts, that's definitely going to be a high ratio and a high chance to win the game. Let's check out rushing. Jalen Hurts. He led the whole teams from the Eagles to the Chiefs with 72 yards and 1 touchdown. He ended up winning Super Bowl MVP. 25 carries for 57 yards. Saquon, he didn't have to do much, but when his name was called upon, he did what he had to do. Kenneth Greenwell, 6 carries, 10 yards. Kenny Pickett, 3 carries, -4 yards. Devontae Smith, 69 yards, 4 receptions, limited targets, and he got 69 yards and a touchdown. So he did what he had to do. That's good. A.J. Brown, limited targets, 3 receptions, 43 yards, 5 targets, 1 touchdown. Limited possessions, but this was mostly a defensive game. Like, the defense showed you why you need to win championships with defense. Defense just goes to show you. They basically submitted their place in history. Like, we're going to come out here and dominate. And that's what they did. Defense wins championships, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. Remember that. Anyone who disagree, look back at statistics in history. A lot of games, a lot of championships are won by defensive possessions or game-winning field goals or touchdown possessions. But how does that happen? It's because of defense. Defense sets the standards for offense. You need a phenomenal defense to have a good offense. If you don't have a good offense, your defense is not going to get it going. It's a balance. You need good offense. You need good defense. And with the Eagles, they had decent offense, and the defense did its thing. So it was a big balance during that game from what I saw. But the defense also just took over. Dallas Goedert, 2 receptions, 27 yards, 2 targets. Johnny Wilson, 0-0-1 target. Milton Williams played a phenomenal part of this game. 1 forced fumble. I believe he recovered 1 too. Zach Bond, a all-pro linebacker who was a special teams player for the New Orleans Saints. Eagles need to re-sign him. If I'm the Eagles, anybody that's on a 1-year contract or contract spot, you want to re-sign them as best as you can. The Josh Sweats, the Makai Beckner, your offensive line, Milton Williams, those guys are huge makers. And if you want to go back to another Super Bowl or possibly second beat and third beat, you need to retain your best players. Cooper DeJean, he got an interception on his birthday. I believe he was 23, 24. Pick 6 for 38 yards. Pass deflection, him and Zach Bond. Milton Williams, everyone showed up. Avonte Maddox, 0 interceptions, 0 yards, 1 pass deflection, but the DBs did his thing. Isaiah Rodgers, 0 interceptions, 0 yards, 1 pass deflection. So the defense was a huge stop. It was 2 people who played on their birthdays who won the Super Bowl. Cooper DeJean and with Saquon Barkley. Let's go on the defensive side. Zach Bond, like I said, played an important piece. Without him or Milton or Cooper, they wouldn't win the Super Bowl. Zach Bond, 3 tackles, 4 assists. Owen Burks, who plays in the rotation for the Eagles. He's a good special team player too. 3 tackles, 2 assists. Cooper DeJean, 3 tackles, 0 assists, 1 touchdown, which is that pick six I said. Quinion Mitchell, him and DeJean, both in the same draft. I think Mitchell came from the first. Cooper DeJean, I believe, came from the second or third. Both of them have phenomenally phenomenally played excellent for the rookie years. Definitely came out the shadows, and I think these guys would definitely be a top dog and forced to be reckoned with for a while. I would not be surprised if they eventually get on the top five, top 10 DBs because they had a good rookie year and they made an impact. Immediate impact. Milton Williams, 3 tackles, 1 assist, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. I thought he was going to get MVP, honestly. He had an MVP performance, but Jalen Hurts deserved that. I would have gave it to Zach Bond or Milton Williams. Like, they should at least have defensive MVP. If there's a defensive MVP, Milton Williams gets it. But you could have make an argument in the case Milton Williams gets it, Jalen Hurts or Zach Bond. But all deserving. It's MVP or not, you still win the Super Bowl. That's more significantly important than winning the MVP, I believe. Yes, MVP is great, a great accolade, definitely. Mahomes is a 3-time, I believe, Super Bowl winner. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna check right now, but it's all about the chips. The chips count, but I really wish there was such thing as a co MVP like the NBA has done it before because um, Zach Bond, Milton Williams, Jalen Hurts all deserve it. Honestly, that's just the truth. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes, yeah, 3-time Super Bowl MVPs, 3-time Super Bowl champion. He still has a lot of time, over 5, 10 years, Lord willing, in this league. So this wouldn't hurt him. He's still one of the greatest right now at his age to get there quickly. 3 Super Bowls, 3 MVPs. That's phenomenal. But for now, what he's up there with the Brady, with Joe Montana. But for now, you really wanna rest it. You want to rest the discussion until he wins a couple more. But he's still up there. But you don't want to continuously have a conversation about that, even though there's going to be discussions and all that about that. You know, but you know, he's still young. He's still got ways to go. So I will not be surprised if he eventually gets in that conversation. He's a great player, but still got ways to go. So his career is still ongoing. So we just have to see, honestly. And for Kelsey, if he retires or not, phenomenal career. One of his tight ends, future Hall of Famer. Him, Chris Jones, Mahomes, future Hall of Famers. Saquon Barkley is a future Hall of Famer, I believe. Jalen Hurts maybe can be a future Hall of Famer. Darius Slay, future Hall of Famer. Brandon Graham, future Hall of Famer. So there's a lot of Hall of Famers on this Eagle team. Yeah, I'm looking at Kelsey's stat accolades now. 3-time Super Bowl champion, 4-time All Pro, 3-time Team All Pro, 10-time Pro Bowler, NFL 10's All Decade team, first team All Big East. So if he hangs it up or not, he's a top 2, top 3 tight end. He's up there with the Tony Gonzalez, definitely, and Shannon Sharps, 1,000%. I don't know. I have to. I have to check if Mike Dicker played tight end. You know, because people forget about Mike Dicker. Mike Dicker's really good. I don't. He was a coach. Yeah, he's a tight end. Yeah. Yep. He's up there with the Mike Dicker. Yep. 5-time All Pro. 5-time Pro Bowl, Super Bowl champion, NFL championship, NFL Rookie of the Year, first team All Pro, 3-time All Pro, NFL 75 anniversary all time team, NFL 100 anniversary all time teams, 89 retired, 100 greatest Bears of all time, unanimous All American, 2-time First team All Eastern, Pittsburgh Panthers, retired. So he's definitely up there with the Mike Dickens, Shannon Sharp, and Tony Gonzalez. But Kelsey to me is a top three tight end. But those guys I mentioned are top five easily, without a doubt. Let's go check out more stats. I believe I said Joan Davis. If I did not, I'm gonna say it now. Two tackles, 0 assists. In my uncomplicated life, 1 sack. Kenneth Gainwell, 2 tackles. Mo Ojomo, 2 tackles. Darius Slay, 2 tackles. Josh Sweat played a phenomenal part in this. He's a big reason. If you don't have a Josh Sweat, if you do not have a Zach Bond or Milton Williams on your defense, you will not win the Super Bowl. Honestly, Josh Sweat did phenomenal. 2 tackles, 4 assists, 2.5 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. Hello, my uncomplicated life. Salute. Thanks for checking out the video and support. Spicy Chicken Gang Gang. Reed Blankenship, 2 tackles. No, my fault. Reed Blankenship, 2 assists, 1 tackle. CJ Gardner, 1 tackle, 2 assists. Brandon Graham, 1 tackle, 0 assists. Jalen Hunts, 1 tackle, 1 assist, 0.5 sacks. Jeremy Tall Jr., 1 tackle. Jake Elliott, 4 for 4 kicks. Longest 50, 4 for 4 extra points. He did phenomenal. So, from what I see, the special teams did a solid job, better than the Chiefs' special teams. But if you have to look at performance-wise, Chiefs dominated. No, not the Chiefs, my fault. Eagles dominated on offense, defense, and special teams. All around, they were consistent, and that's the big reason why they won the game. Them forcing turnovers, defense got after it, pressure the quarterbacks, made it life hard for Mahomes. Those are the big reasons why they won the game. Defense wins championships, like I said. Now let's go on team stats. Kansas City, 275 yards, 345 total yards for the Eagles, 226 passing yards, 220 passing yards. Kansas City, 49 rushing yards, 135 rushing yards. Average yards per play, Kansas City had more than the Eagles, one more actually. Kansas City had 6, Eagles had 5. Points scored, Chiefs 22, Eagles 44. That killed them. That was a big killer. Fumbles lost. You gotta take care of the ball. If you can't take care of the ball, you're gonna lose the game. Look what happened to my team, the Redskins Commandos. Over 3 turnovers. If you want to get to the Super Bowl or win the game, you got to take care of the ball. Turnovers are a big factor. And because of the Chiefs' turnovers, Eagles put up over 17 points in that game because of it. You take away the turnover, Eagles wouldn't have those points. It'll probably be a close game. Turnovers mean a lot. Take care of the ball, plain and simple. Fumbles lost. Like I said, Chiefs 1, Eagles 0. Interception throws. Chiefs 2, Eagles 1. 6 sacks by Kansas City, 2 by Philly. The sacks. Chiefs allowed more sacks. More sacks. You can't win like that. Third down efficiency, both teams sucked in third down efficiency. Did horrible. 27%, 25. It was really a defensive game. Time of possession. Time of possession is important. That's why Eagles were able to score and get down the field. Time of possessions. They took control of the game. They were very phenomenal with time management and clock management. 36, 58 to 23:02. If you have more time of possession, if you have more interceptions, more rushing yards, more total yards, which Eagles did dominated, you're going to win. And Eagles, for majority, they dominated the categories. Penalties, it was neck to neck. Kansas City had 7, Eagles had 8. So That's the reason why Eagles won. Time of possession, turnovers, total yards, forcing turnovers, sacks. Defense wins championships, like I said. So going into the off season, Chiefs need a new. Chiefs need. They need an offensive line. They need receivers. And if Kelsey's not coming back, you got to get someone else. You got to either draft or get someone who's on the market because you have Noah Gray. I don't know if Justin Watson still plays for that team, but these are good blocking tight ends, good solid tight ends. But they're not Travis Kelsey. You need a playmaker, difference maker, and you need receivers. I think DeAndre Hopkins, Juju Smith, Marquise Brown are all free agents. I don't know if you're going to retain them. If you're not, you need another receiver to complement the Xavier Worthy. So that's what the Chiefs need to do to upgrade. Receiving, offensive line, honestly. And for the Eagles, Zach Brown is a free agent, Milton Williams, Mekhi Becton, Josh Swift. Retain your best players. If you want to go back to the Super Bowl, you got to retain your best players. But even if they don't, I see more. I'm gonna see teams coming to Philly since they just won a Super Bowl. They're gonna be the hottest team in the free agent market. So we just have to see and find out. I look forward for what the free agency gives us, but those are the keys for the Chiefs to go back to the Super Bowl. And he goes to repeat again, retain your players. But anyways, y'all, like, share, subscribe. I appreciate y'all. I support y'all. I love y'all, man. Spicy Chicken Gang Gang. More content coming soon. Thank you for joining me. Spicy Chicken Gang Gang. Peace, y'all.